right, so here I am with more vases, and what I'd found before was that I put too much paint on the vase, and so then some of the cool patterns I saw just all ran off and it kind of ran together. So I did this one, trying to be very sparing on the paint, and there's some cool patterns, but it hasn't quite covered all of it, so I'm hoping if I just be very patient, then it will end up covering. And there are some cool patterns that are coming from the extra paint that's on top, and it's going around. So let's see, there's some really cool stuff there. So we'll see what happens. But you'll get to see another vase in action. All right, so here's my colors. Well, let me show you first. I did yellow, red, black, white, and then kind of this magenta color. I was trying to do a project for our collaborative partners whose logo colors are red, black, and yellow. Had some interesting results. Not quite what I was looking for, but that's okay. We'll see what happens when they dry. Anyway, so I have leftover paint, of course, so now let's see what happens. And then, of course, it'll be a cool... All right, that's a lot of paint. Let's see if that's going to be enough. And I'm a little worried that I've put that too close to the edge. I wanted to maintain that ring because then the canvas ends up being really cool too. Oh, this is very different. Very different. Of course, I got some more colors down in the bottom of the cup. Oh, look at that. See? That's the kind of stuff that I don't want to mess up. The cells usually don't stay because they get pulled downward, but those are some cool colors. Now what's interesting is since this is the same colors of paint, I was thinking these two vases could be a match set, but I think they're going to turn out to be pretty different. So maybe not as matched as I thought. What I know is I probably sat there and watched this thing drip for about 5 or 10 minutes. I probably will not subject you to that. Wow, this is really just very different from that other one. Goodness. There's a little bit more pinks. I think I'm getting to the white that I'd added in the cup. But wow, this is pretty neat. Now, if it just makes it all the way down. And then we can see how this side is doing. Yeah, see, that one's just about covered. So I find it fascinating that with both of these vases, one side wanted to cover more than the other. And then whatever's going to be on the canvas, I think, is going to be cool also. Well, so much for the match set. I think they are so different. They're just going to be two different vases. But that's okay. It reminds me of an Oriental painting, maybe some vases which they have like the yellow, green, black, maybe some of that pink in there. And then that agonizing, will it ever make it? All right, kind of like time-lapse photography. Here is where they are now. It's probably been about 30 minutes. This one, those pesky clear areas finally cleared. This one, I just have to trust that those will clear as well, even though I get a little concerned about there being so much that this has to travel. And you can see there's a lot more pink, so not quite as much of the Oriental look. And then over here, can see it's still really cool. Now, of course, looking at those, they are so not a matched pair. Now, what's interesting is the canvas that's drying in the other room is a mix of both palettes, so it's almost as if one vase on one side, one vase on the other. Could be an interesting grouping if somebody was so inclined. I do really like the top. It makes me think of space. I really do like that. So, like I said, I just have to trust that the paint will run down all the way. Like I said, that one did. So, if that one can do it, this one can do it. It still ends up being a lot of mix. In other words, we've got cool designs there, but then it's really blended down there, probably because it had to drip for so long. But if you put more paint on it, it's still all going to drip off. I don't know. Well, this is why art is so fascinating, because it is different. It's an adventure. All right, thanks for watching.